Yes! Yes! Yeah, that was great! Hold on, we're going back for that. Hello, gals, blokes, and all other folks. My name is Mortius, and I would like to introduce you to the reason I have not recorded in a while. This is Kara, and she is already asking to be out of my arms, but I wanted to make sure that I was able to introduce her to everybody on camera, oh, that was in my mouth, and officially before I let her back down. All right. So for those of you who just pay attention to YouTube release dates, you might be like, hold on, I didn't even realize there was a gap between recordings because I still had enough backlog to get through everything. But those of you over on the Patreon, or those of you who pay a little more attention to the videos, might have noticed that it's been a while since I posted a new reaction to Patreon, and a couple of the reactions hitting YouTube were recorded a couple of months ago because we did get a new puppy. If you missed the community post, her name is Kara, and we absolutely love her. So yeah, it's been like 2 or 3 weeks since I've recorded because it's just been absolutely crazy busy taking care of Kara, introducing her to Ella, everything like that. But I am still here for this month's Patreon pick, which is VoicePlay's The Bones by Maren Morris, featuring, I really should have learned this by now, either Imoni or Imani Wilkins. I will probably use them interchangeably throughout the video. I loved her addition to Just Sing. I loved her addition to Wicked. I believe those are the only things I have heard her in, but I absolutely loved her additions to both. So all of that to be said, I am really, really excited to see what she brings to this one. Maren Morris is one of my wife's favorite artists of all time, so I'm pretty familiar with this song just from hearing it around the house when we're cooking. It's in her car and road trip playlist, so I've heard this song many times. And yeah, I'm probably going to make this fast because our house is still way too warm. I did get a new fan, which helps, but I'm worried. I turned it to a lower setting so the mic hopefully doesn't pick it up too much. So I'm probably still going to record a little bit faster of a video because I still have a puppy to get back to, and it's still very, very warm in here. But all of that being said, I am very excited. So without any further ado, let's hop into our Patreon pick, The Bones by Maren Morris. The Bones by Maren Morris, a cover by VoicePlay. And if you want to participate in the polls to pick the patron pick, or to help choose the patron pick videos, oh my gosh, this dog clearly has me not running on enough sleep. Whew. If you want to participate in the polls to help choose the patron pick videos of every month, please consider joining the Patreon. Now let's actually get into this recording. So, I just reacted to about the first 40 seconds or so of this, and then noticed that my recording was not actually running. It was still paused. I don't know how that happened. That's very frustrating, and I apologize to you guys. So, the first 40 seconds or so of this are just going to be kind of repeating what my thoughts were and probably just smiling and bopping along. Honestly, that's what most of it was anyway. But yeah, I apologize. I'm very frustrated that I just lost that little bit of reaction, but let's take that frustration, get rid of it, and let's just hop into this. Ah, what a bummer. Is it gonna play? Recording's having all kind of issues today. All right. What I was saying here is I found it really interesting that they are going for like the because in the original it's more of a do doom 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 doom. And so I was saying, like, I know that VoicePlay is more than capable of replicating instruments, especially just a pretty simple guitar track. So I'm kind of surprised they went for that really cool harmony, like, I shouldn't say I'm surprised, because VoicePlay is constantly changing things, but it's very interesting to me that it's like, you know what I mean? Instead of the dum 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 dum, which is kind of what I expected them to approach it as. So that's a really cool deviation.
We're in the home stretch.
And I love that they just start with the vocals and the vocal percussion. So cool.
We took a hard left, but we're all right.
And then everyone building back in slowly but surely.
Try to put love through it, but we built this right, and nothing's ever gonna move it. When the bones.
And yeah, that one, I mentioned how they totally changed, like, the timing up there. Like, in the video, it's like, nothing's ever gonna move it when the bones are good. Like, it instantly hops into the chorus. Whereas for this one, there's that big delay.
And nothing's ever gonna move it. When the bones are good.
And then, of course, they hit us with the, that kind of where it doesn't really, like, nothing's ever gonna move it when the boom, dum, dum, dum. Like, that's when the instruments really kick in the original, and they kept it a little softer, a little more subtle in this one. And I was mentioning how I think it's really interesting because I think I've sort of built almost a subconscious, unintentional attachment between country a cappella and home free style for very obvious reasons. But home free does their covers a lot more traditionally, or I shouldn't say traditionally, but a lot more like they're going for replication. They don't change as much with some exception. And so I feel like when I sat down for this, I was thinking about like, oh, how would the Bones be a cappella? And I wasn't anticipating any of these things because just the fact that it's country, it's vocals and a simple guitar had me mentally conjuring more of home freestyle than voice play style. So all these changes really threw me off, but I like them a lot. And also, we are now to a point where I haven't seen any. I'm still so annoyed I lost that first little bit of reaction, but whatever. Let's do it for real. Now we're getting to actual reaction. Here we go.
The rest don't matter, yeah, the pain could feel, the glass could shatter, let it rain, 'cause you and I remain the same.
Now, I gotta check actually, who did this? This is so different from what I was expecting. Not in a bad way, but this is a Jeff arrangement. Really? Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Because there, I would have expected something totally different too. I feel like it would be such a voice play thing to do for everyone to join in with the rain. With the word rain. Like something like that. You know what I mean? Like this, you and I remain, or something rain, and then have everyone else kind of come in on harmonies on the rain. Feels like, I don't know, I feel like I keep anticipating things happening and they just keep not happening, but what's happening instead is still really good, so I still like it, but I just feel like I've maybe it's just because it's an older one and I'm like anticipating their current style. I have no idea what's going on in my brain, but I feel like I keep thinking something's gonna happen and then it doesn't, and it keeps throwing me off. And I love that it's tossing back and forth between Amani and Ellie. And Ellie hitting us with some of that falsetto in there. Because I know he could hit those notes without slipping into falsetto, but I guess they just really didn't want that rock tenor vibe in here, that in his voice when he goes up high. I guess they wanted to avoid. This is so different. Jeff, what? But an octave down. That's a cool little riff from Jeff at the bottom. But baby, you and I can't even mess it up. Although we both tried. No. I was like, oh, I love how they're just tossing in between Amani and Ellie, and I thought I was going to be happy with that for the whole song. And then Jay comes in, and I'm like, oh, never mind. Jay's giving me what I didn't know I even wanted. Call it dumb luck, but baby, you and I. And here, now these backgrounds are a little more, so maybe they just wanted to go for a more subtle intro, because we are only a minute, barely over a minute into a 3+ minute song. So maybe they just wanted to start it really simple so they had somewhere to build, because even now, these vocals, this pushing upward, the background, the doom-a-doom-a-doom-a-dooms from Jeff, These are all what I was actually expecting this cover to sound like. So maybe they were just starting subtle so they had somewhere to build, which I talk about a lot being really important, so that's good. And now maybe it's going to be what I thought this cover was going to be. Let's find out. I'll try not to pause again soon. That's not good.
Call it dumb luck.
Look! Love it.
I can't even mess it up. Although we both tried. No, it won't always go the way we planned it, but the wolves came.
The da 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 was very interesting. I like that a lot.
But the wolves came and went, and we're still standing. When the bones are good.
Yes, 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 yes. Sorry, that was too loud.
We planted, but the wolves came and went, and we're still standing. When the
We're still standing. Like the way he just interjects there where it should be in the original song, and then they hop right on into it, which I talked about earlier that they changed. Yes! Yes! Yeah, that was great! Hold on, we're going back for that. I love that riff. As Jeff went, the house don't fall when the bones are, I heard him leading towards a low note. And I was in my head, you know when like your thoughts, or maybe it's just a ADD thing, but you know your thoughts like process a million things in a second and you have like a whole conversation with yourself in like 1 second of music? In that moment, he was like, when the bones are. And I was like, in my head, I was like, oh, he's about to go low. Oh, but actually, man, I don't know if I like that for this song. I feel like if he just goes like, bones are good, like, you know what I mean? Just good, way down low, that wouldn't fit. And then they don't do that, but they still let him have the note he was building towards in the background. He goes, house don't fall when the bones are. And then everyone else hits you with the good, and he hits you with that really low. So he still managed to complete the low note he was leading to without it being front and center, which would have taken away from that piece of the chorus. Ooh, I like that so much. I don't know why I'm trying to drink water while they're singing. It's going to be bad for me. Sorry, our house is still very warm, so I need to make sure I stay hydrated. But what was that riff? Man, these two voices play off each other so well.
When the bones are good, the rest don't matter. Yeah, the pain could
see, there it fit. There it fit.
The glass could shatter. The rest all pain could peel the glass. The glass could shatter. When the bones are good, the rest don't matter.
Dude. Dude.
paint could peel the glass could shatter when the bones are good.
Their voices blend together so well.
The glass could shatter when the bones are good. The rest don't matter, 'cause you and I remain the same. And when there ain't no blood,
What are they? What? Ooh!
the rest don't matter, 'cause you and I remain the same. And when there ain't no blood in the foundation,
I'm so excited to share this with my wife.
we're facing, blow right over while we stay put. The house don't fall when the bones are good.
The small, subtle echo production on those snaps, love it. And then Jeff with that oh. Dude, if anyone ever is confused by what I mean by build and leaving yourself somewhere to grow or important, this is where I will send them. I legit want to do like an entire like deconstruction video essay on The Bones versus Valhalla Calling. And I know that sounds insane because of how different they are, but just structurally. Because I think that Valhalla Calling was a more impressive a cappella cover than The Bones. But The Bones left me, I think I am more satisfied right now than I felt at the end of Valhalla Calling. Because Valhalla Calling is good the whole time. Like, I think Valhalla Calling's best and The Bones' best are right around the same. But what's so important is The Bones doesn't start there. The Bones starts so much lower. You know what I mean? It starts so slow, so quiet, almost to the point where I was like, man, they're really not capturing the power and energy of the original song. They held on to that slowness and subtleness for just long enough that it almost had me being like, man, it had me wanting and yearning for more, and then they gave it. And that's so important and so powerful from an arrangement standpoint that it completely changes and shapes. Real quick, let me make sure there's nothing else. Okay, completely changes and shapes like what the feeling of it is. Valhalla Calling starts high and then just stays high, and I talk about that so much in that video. I won't keep talking about it here, but they start so slow. They leave you wanting more. The ability to leave an audience member wanting more and then immediately giving it to them and having both halves of that equation feel satisfying is stunning. Wow. I am blown away. I'll be honest, I was not impressed at the start. I really wasn't. I was giving it time, hoping it grew somewhere, and it did. But like, I was not loving it at the beginning. But where it took it by the end is just, yeah. I enjoyed that tremendously. Anyways, I got a puppy to go take care of, garden beds to build, more ice water to consume, lemonade to make. I got so many things on my agenda. So thank you for all of the lovely patrons who voted for this, voted for this incredible cover. If you want to join them, please feel free to check in the description or go to patreon.com/Mortius. Thank you to all of my patrons at the full Windsor tier or higher, I remember my patron tiers, for supporting extra and making it onto this list. But thank you to everyone else who voted and supports me however you can. And as always, gals, blokes, and all other folks, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.